Thank you, Golnaz. Now to sum up, a couple of things went south during this project. For one, the cost was completely overrun. So in 1999, when the project was initially contracted, the cost was $124 million Canadian, which 5 years later in August 2004 was revised to $242 million Canadian. But when all was said and done at the end of the project, the total cost was $319 million Canadian. So this obviously went significantly over budget. The main reason for this delay was the delay in Package 4, which I had previously mentioned as being the most crucial part of this entire bridge, since it was really the main construction of the structure. Other causes for this overrun in cost include an escalation of $40 million Canadian paid to contractors due to this delay, $13 million Canadian for the introduction of new technical changes in the bridge, which I'll be talking about a little bit later on, and finally $42.9 million in interest liability due to the delayed completion of this project. The state government also committed to $108.1 million Canadian in grants, but by June 2007 had unfortunately only provided $18.6 million. Unfortunately, this forced the company to borrow funds and incurred an annual financial burden of an additional $6.9 million. So in addition to the cost overrun, time was overrun as well. The bridge was initially supposed to be completed by March 2003, but this date was pushed to April 2008, mainly due to the technical changes that I will be talking about soon, so that is a full 5 years. The major change, as I just mentioned, was a design change. Initially, the bridge was supposed to be an arch bridge, but this was later changed to a cable stay bridge. And had this change been made, or had this decision been taken during the initial phases, this time would not have been an issue and the time would not have been overrun, and everything would have been completed on time. And finally, there were a couple of issues with the contractor and the consultant. For one, there was a bonus paid to the contractor, who was named HCC, despite non-achievement and wrongful stoppage of their work for 18 months. Essentially, their progress was just poor and the company did not liquidate damages amounting to $2.4 million on them. And finally, the consultant selection process for the design and project management portion of this project was defective, because the company didn't actually verify the claims that the consultants were making during their proposals. So the initial consultant that was chosen was called SFRDUP, and they were selected based on their high ranking during the proposal phase, and they were paid $3.7 million Canadian as per contractual agreement. However, they did not have a great performance. Their performance was very poor, and eventually a second consultant called DAR was selected, and had they been chosen during the initial stages and during the proposal phases, then this time would not have been an issue either. And they weren't chosen because their proposal wasn't as strong as SFRDUP's. Finally, we'll be moving on to Pranjal, who will be talking about the recommendations.